Hey, this is a Starseed Mentality, back at you again with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a brief review on my thoughts of the color purple and how I've tied that into the Orisha pantheon, okay, a correlation that I have seen here. Okay, and before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe to my content that I post to stay updated, okay, on what I have going on. All right, and so with that being said, let's get into it. So I did want to give a brief disclaimer about, Lil Boosie's comments about the movie. Okay, and of course, if you've seen Louis Farrakhan's lecture that he did about the movie, there's an agenda, a feminist agenda, that this is an attack on black men, and that it's, about women, who experience abuse from men, how they seek sexual and romantic relations with other women, right? So they're lesbians, right, because of this agenda against black masculinity. And I just want to let you guys know that that is a perspective, but that is not what we're going to be talking about today. I'm not going to really be criticizing the film, because I understand that that's, one of the things, or one of the themes of the film, sexuality and femininity and all of those different things. And so, I won't be commenting on that, but I definitely encourage you to look into that perspective. It is quite interesting, but that is not what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be talking about my main takeaway from this movie, and how from just the overall growth from the first film. I think the first film was long. The first film made me just feel sad for Celie. Okay, it just made me feel low. You know what I'm saying? Because they do talk about, some intense topics. Okay, in the experience of women and coming of age and things of that nature. Okay, and so the first film just made me feel low. It made me feel sad. I think that by the time we get to the ending, when she's reunited with her sister, I'm still sad. Like, and I feel like in the remake, not only do I understand the story better, but I understand the story better because of all the different, moods you're supposed to be experiencing through the main character, Celie. Okay, and so, uh and so, it's almost like when there was like a musical scene, or, a musical skit, they were like cue cards. Like, this is how the audience is supposed to be feeling, versus, the first film, where it wasn't a musical. There were no cue cards. This is how you're supposed to be feeling. This is what you're supposed to be thinking. It was just, I'm just sad. But in this film, in the readaptation, in the remake, I feel a lot of different things. And so, that, correlates to all the different spectrums that you're supposed to be experiencing through the course of the film. And so this is also how I've come to these themes, you know what I'm saying, with the musicals that was happening, or the musical skit. You're supposed to feel happy, hope. You're supposed to feel so many different things because of how the music is throughout the film. And so, I got so many different themes, but some of them are spirituality, forgiveness, sexuality, sisterhood, abuse, femininity, optimism, faith, love, self-love, joy, and of course, the main one here is karma. But my main takeaway from this film is sisterhood. And despite the criticism about, lesbians and all of that, and the attack on black masculinity, despite that, I feel like, an opposing view is how women get in community with each other and get together to talk about their relationships, their marriages, their abuse, their sexual abuse, you know what I'm saying, their the issues that they're having with their fathers and their mothers and things of that nature. So that was my main takeaway, and pretty much my main takeaway from my 2023 year. The main takeaway for me is pretty much all the different forms of sisterhood and goddess groups and that I have, formulated through this spiritual journey that I'm going through, and throughout my life, just in my own family circle, from my mother's support and my grandmother's support and my deceased great grandmother's support. Now getting that through a whole different spiritual dimension type of deal. You know what I'm saying? And so I express gratitude for my sister communities, for my girl groups, for my girlfriends, for us to come together and help each other out when we are struggling. You know what I'm saying? Celie was really going through it, okay? And she had her girlfriends get together, and one of which she had a crush on. That's just her journey, that's just her experience, you know what I'm saying? But or they were in a relationship, or however you interpret what's going on in that film between Suge and Celie, what you get is women getting together to support one another and not take each other down type of deal. And so I think that's a very powerful narrative that we need in today's time. And I love that they remade this movie for the new generation. Okay, and so let's get into how the three main characters correlate with the Orishas. Okay, and then of course, so first we have to go into Celie's character, of course, and how she correlates with Yemoja, okay, the mother of all. Okay, a lot of women who are have the crown mother of Yemoja, or are influenced, or children of Yemoja, right, often go through a lot of abuse. Okay, they're often, sometimes but not always, considered too sweet or too nice. Okay, sometimes pushovers. Okay, and the thing for Celie throughout the film was you gotta learn how to fight back. Okay, you can't just let people walk all over you. Okay, and so I mean, even Yemoja went through a similar situation to Celie, being being abused. Okay, and literally went back to the sea type deal. Okay, forget this, human realm can't do it. Okay, Celie also had a water scene when she found her child that her father had been sending off and away from her, and so she had a whole river scene that kind of correlated with Yemoja. Then of course she was pregnant, she had children, starting off this film, as Yemoja represents the mother of all. Okay, and Sweet's character also correlates with Yemoja, as well as Celie and Sweet are both in kind of abusive kinds of situations. Okay, next we have Oshun, Mother Oshun. Okay, so definitely Suge's character. I liked how they revamped her character and made her like a celebrity in the new film. I didn't get that in the first film, and so I understand her prestige now in the second film. And so she represents, there's a scene where they're going through the garden, and she just represents sensuality, femininity, and of course optimism, happiness. And that's kind of what Nettie represents in the whole correlation with the goddess Oshun. Okay, the pleasures and femininity and things of that nature, right? Next we have Sophia and how she correlates with Mama Oya, because she's always down for a fight. Okay, stay back, or okay. So this is kind of my video on how the three main characters, or five characters rather, correlate with the Orisha pantheon. Please like, share, and subscribe to my video to stay updated on what I post. I love y'all. Patah.